So, welcome to another version of a video that nobody will watch, but hopefully a couple of you will. So here are the questions, and the first three are about economics. Yeah, they're about economics because there's a great example of solving for a system of equations with the law of supply and demand. So it's a little bit obtuse maybe before you make a connection, but I'll do my best to explain what I do. The questions are not hard. They're really not that difficult. So don't make them more difficult, I guess is the point, than they are. You're basically reading off of this graph. But if you want to take a minute and a half and understand what this graph talks about, let's take a quick look at the runway of Crash Course Economics. If you haven't watched the Crash Course series of different things, you really should. It's wonderful. But anyway, let's just watch a minute and a half on supply and demand, which describes the graph that we're going to be working with in the homework.
There's only one thing you should learn in economics. It's supply and demand. Let's use the market for strawberries to help us understand this concept. Up here on the y-axis, we have the price of strawberries. Down here on the x-axis, we have the quantity of boxes of strawberries. Let's start by looking at buyers and how they respond to a change in price. If the price goes up for strawberries, then some buyers will go buy blueberries or they'll go on that all-bacon diet. The point is, they're going to buy less strawberries. And if the price goes down for strawberries, then people are going to buy more. And this is called the law of demand. When the price goes up, people buy less. When the price goes down, people buy more. On the graph, it's shown by a downward sloping demand curve. Now let's think about sellers, like the farmer in the farmer's market. If the price of strawberry goes up, then that farmer will make more profit, so he'll have an incentive to produce more strawberries. If the price goes down, then he's not going to want to produce strawberries. That's called the law of supply. And on the graph, it's shown by an upward sloping supply curve. Now let's put demand and supply together. If the price is really high at $10, then producers would like to produce a lot of strawberries, but consumers won't want to buy them. This mismatch is called a surplus. And if the price goes down for strawberries, let's say down to $1, then buyers want to buy a whole lot, but producers won't have an incentive and they'll produce very little. Again, you have a mismatch, but this one's called a shortage. And there's only one price where the quantity that buyers want to buy is exactly equal to the quantity sellers want to sell. And it's right here where supply equals demand. The price is called the equilibrium price, and quantity is called the equilibrium quantity.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so here is that graph here, and the main takeaway is that there is this equilibrium price, which is the intersection of the two lines, of the two graphs that can be represented by equations. And so as an economist, if you can come up with the equation for supply and the equation for demand, then you can solve for the equilibrium price. And how wonderful would that be to just jump straight into that without having shortages and over surpluses, whatever it's called? Wouldn't it be nice just to determine that? And so it is, from a model standpoint, possible to determine it, where these two equations intersect. So the questions are simpler than that. Like I was saying before, read through the explanation here. I think with the little video that you've watched, you should be able to come up with the correct answers. And then the rest of the homework is, I think, down here, right? And so it's going to be straightforward drawing of graphs. Use graph paper, use a ruler, and you should find the point by simply drawing, by first getting these equations into y-intercept form, the two graphs, and finding their intersection point. But there's one other thing that I really kind of wanted to do and didn't do it in class, and it's not that necessary, but it would be really wonderful if a few of you do watch this, just because it's a good point to make. And that is, must be here, one of the examples that we didn't do. No, something else. This one, because I think this, along with the supply and demand graph that you just saw, will make things a little bit more practical. This is not part of the homework. I just wanted to do this, and if I don't do it next class, here it is in the video. Curtis will run 4 miles the first week of training and increase the mileage by 1 mile each week. Watch how this works. So if we're going to say that this is weeks, down here, and this is miles run, check this out. This is easier to understand than the economics chart. So the first week, let's go to week number 1. He runs 4 miles. And he increases the mileage 1 mile each week. week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and so on. With another schedule, Chris Curtis will run 1 mile in the first week, so he starts with less, but increases total mileage by 2 miles each week. So for every increase in x, we have an increase of 2 in the y, slope of 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So if I join those points, you can see there's a point with this second strategy where he's actually going to be running more miles per week. And I guess that's the question. During what week do the two schedules break even? And it looks like it looks like it is right here, reading it off the graph. And it looks like it's week 4. How many miles will Curtis run during this week? And during this week, we're reading off the number of miles he's running to be 7. So that was just an extra that I've done because I know you're all going to watch this and all going to like this. But anyway, it's certainly not a priority for doing the homework. But hopefully the rest of the video that we've just done does help in that regard. I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of like doing this video business.